the agenda is the Bessemer City Manager transition. At this point in time, I would like to open that up for discussion, and I would like to have Mr. Corpola address the current status as it is at this moment in time.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I have some materials for each of the council members. Since the council's deliberations and decision of last Monday, Mr. Yuskevich came to my office on Tuesday morning, the day after the meeting, and asked me to draft the severance agreement for Mr. Yuskevich, consistent with the council's directions, and to also prepare an independent contract for Ms. Anderson. I did that, and the documents were delivered to City Hall on Wednesday, and that was my involvement with the process. I was not at last week's meeting. I did not sit through closed session, so I want that to be understood. The package of materials I've given to you since that business took place last week at the in our city council here regards correspondence from attorney Stephen Pence from Marquette. Mr. Pence is an accomplished civil practice attorney who has done a lot of employer-employee work. I know that he had a $600,000 judgment in Munising in Elgin County for improper conduct by units of government over there. So he's accomplished. He knows what he's doing, and Ms. Anderson asked him to send this correspondence to us. Now, the first letter, if you'll look at it, please, is a December 7th or 11th letter from Mr. Pence to Mr. Trudgeon in his capacity as a city clerk, asking for copies of the emails, Facebook postings, and texts of city council persons Nelson and Coleman regarding the hiring of Margot Anderson as an independent contractor. That request has to be responded to by the city within 10 days, or I believe under statute we can require a 5-day extension to comply with the request. I believe we have a complete log of those communications Mr. Coleman and Ms. Nelson made, and I talked to Mayor Whitburn about having this indexed by the end of the week, so by that time council members Coleman and Nelson can review the logs and the language of the text to confirm their authorship. So I wanted to let you know about that. Secondly, we have a letter from Attorney Pence to my office and to Attorney Michael Pope's office. Mr. Pope, as you may know, is the city attorney for Wakefield. And the letter is about a page and a half, and it discusses Ms. Anderson's prior employment with the city of Wakefield, the fact that she reached a severance agreement and left the city's employment as their manager just recently, back in November, and that since the overtures from the city of Bessemer to have her serve as a interim manager, that council members Coleman and Nelson were making numerous inquiries and Facebook postings regarding her reputation. And so he asked that we treat her appropriately and not make disparaging comments about her, which leads me to the next series of information I offered to council, which is about social media in the workplace. This is a developing area of law which has gotten many public bodies into trouble over invasion of privacy, defamation, tortious interference with contractual rights, and what have you, and breach of contract claims. And what it talks about on page 52 is the importance of city council people, city employees, what have you, being extremely discreet in how they use social media in connection with employment decisions, because the employer is inviting liability for improperly obtained information that was obtained by improper background checks and inquiries of that sort. I understand that, I believe one of you two had made a claim that you had conducted a background check. Of course, that requires Ms. Anderson's consent. That consent was not given, and you're making these inquiries. You could be, if you're sharing this information with your fellow council members, exposing the city to liability. It's important that we be very careful about how we obtain information about any prospective employee of the city. In particular here, where she's claiming that two of our council members are making inappropriate, perhaps illegal inquiries into her reputation and her personal life. So I am asking every council member here to be careful about what they say and what they consider doing, especially in social media, because records can be tracked. We have all the email correspondence from both of you to City Hall, and those have to be disclosed to Mr. Pence. Further, I'm not aware of anything in the record from last week's meeting where the council gave either one of you authority to start conducting personal investigations or background checks on a prospective employee. So when you're doing that, you're acting outside of your authority, and I am suggesting to you that unless Ms. Anderson consented to these inquiries that you're making, that you not divulge any information from that investigation to any of your fellow council members. I don't want her opportunity with the city tainted by an invasion of her privacy or any other interference with her rights. It's important that the council engage Ms. Anderson with properly obtained information that is accurate and obtained by her consent. Which leads me to a couple other comments. This article on social media leads me to a couple of further comments. One is we should look at a social media policy. Council members have to be very careful about what they're doing on their social media so that you're not infringing on people's rights. You have to make sure that you're not using defamatory or false information when you're making these kind of public inquiries. The council, I think, should look at developing something that will give us some guidance to council and to employees so that we're not overstepping or overreaching when we're making these kind of public inquiries. Second, Mr. Coleman made comments about background checks. In 22 years as city attorney, we've never done a background check on a manager. Through 5 managers, we've never done one. People submit their resumes, they give references, they come to interviews and answer questions. Finally, regarding the December 17th meeting that was arranged for meeting Ms. Anderson, I share with Mayor Whitburn's recommendation that she be invited by the clerk to the meeting on Thursday afternoon to meet the council and to answer questions. And second, Mayor Whitburn asked me if I would compile basically a statement regarding the process that followed last Monday's council meeting, with my thoughts and opinions on the formation of this contract, whether or not it is binding, and what consequences the council's, particular council members' conduct has had with regard to the rights of the city and the duties of the city and the rights of Ms. Anderson and her possible claims. And so at that time, I told Ms. Whitburn this afternoon that I could have an opinion ready by lunchtime on Thursday, about 4 to 5 hours in advance of the meeting. I would have it at Mr. Trudgeon's office by then. That's all I have right now, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May I address a couple of your comments? First of all, my postings on Facebook, and you can have records of them, were informational posts on Facebook to tell what's going on. Claiming a background check was done I don't ever remember seeing a Facebook page post that said anyone did a background check. There may have been a Facebook page post saying they requested, but nowhere did I ever see that one was done. I did one, Rob did one, Kathy did one, John did one, Al did one. Nobody posted that comment. Thirdly, there is, I think I've heard of it once or twice before, something about now it just completely slipped my mind about being able to talk to people in public. Are you telling us that we can't talk to anybody? We can't ask any questions? We can't say anything? When people call us, we're to hang up on them? We're not supposed to listen to what they have to say? I think you're wrong in that. I don't think Rob or I put things out there that were derogatory regarding Margot. Not that I've seen. A lot of other people have. But I don't think Rob and I put that stuff out there. My posts were informational posts, and I know nobody likes the informational posts because they don't want the town to really know what's going on all the time. And that's about all I have to say about that at this time. You know, you say, well, maybe I do have one other thing to say. You say that we were acting out of our element as part of the city council. Well, I think there was somebody else that was acting out of their element about the city council, because I was told that they've been working with Margot since September and trying to get her on board. And that came right from another council person's mouth. So, if we don't have any right asking, is it just us that don't have any right talking, or does that go for everybody?
And I have a comment too. I did talk to people. I didn't do a background check, but I talked to as many people as I could who were directly involved with her. Now, if I'm not supposed to do that, I shouldn't even be on this council, because someone's gotta give a shit about what's going on here and not let stuff be glossed over. I was doing my due diligence for this town. Other people put the cart before the horse, and, well, this is the trouble we're in now. If I'm not supposed to ask any questions, I have no right being on this council.
Nobody's saying that, Rob.
Although I've been told that before. I've been told that before when I've made phone calls to various people. I've been told I have no business calling people and asking anybody questions.
And I was probably the one that did it.
Yes, you were. I'm supposed to come to this council meeting and just
No.
plant my
You're
butt in
wrong,
this chair
Linda.
and say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, sir. I have every right to check out and find out what's going on. That's why I'm sitting here.
Let's
I'm
get
not
this-
a puppet.
Let's get this in context, okay?
It is in context.
Not even close. I
In your
believe
mind.
what you were, all right, I'm gonna tell Mom you can't be safe.
Not now, she's sleeping.
Where I should be, but, that issue you're talking about was in relation to a committee that was approved by this council to hire an individual and to do call the references and so on and so forth. You decided on your own then to bypass the committee and the wishes of the majority of the council to do your own investigation. That's what you're probably referring to. But regardless, that was
No.
5 years ago, okay? You know, I think that's in the past. Nobody is saying right now that any of us should not be able to ask questions. In this situation, we didn't have to ask a whole lot of questions. I think people came up to us and gave us their opinions. So the gathering of information, there's nothing wrong with it. I think what Michael's referring to, and I think what the lawyer in the letter is referring to, is what do we do with that information? You know, do we start repeating it? Do we start, you know, putting things on Facebook? You know, and I would also argue that some of the things posted weren't inflammatory in nature, just based on the lack of completeness in the information that was posted. So no, nobody's saying we can't do our due diligence. It's what we do with the information that we gather in that process
Yeah, and I
that can
don't,
get us in trouble.
I do not think that Rob or I put, I don't even wanna say one iota of the information that we received from countless people out on Facebook.
I would hope not.
The thing is though, there is a document that Rob did post.
Yes,
and
there
it
is.
documented.
Yes, there is.
And his findings, as he stated, did not bode well. That was a direct reference.
That was his opinion. Did it say in there, in that post, because I'm assuming you're looking at it right now,
I am.
that he did a background check? What was the verbiage in there?
It's saying he requested a full background check.
That's
I
right,
requested,
he requested,
yes,
he
yes.
didn't do it. Nowhere did it say
The
that
thing
he
is,
did it.
his opinion of my current findings do not bode well for Ms. Anderson.
As
It
well,
becomes something that can be inferred in reference to.
as well as her claim, the Facebooks have done, a councilman claims on Facebook to have done a background check on Miss Anderson and wrote, it does not bode well. He never said he did a background check.
Linda, I'm not gonna argue the legality of that, that's up to the attorneys to argue that
Yeah,
legality.
it sure
But it
is.
is a document that has been posted.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the rest of the documents out on the Facebook page that has the rest of the story,
Mm-hmm.
that falls within our State Ethics Act. Because you have stated on that specific site, you state on there that if it's your opinion, you will state it's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yet your comments are not stating of it as your opinion, because your comments are coming through as a we, which is meaning it's representing all of us. And it states in that State Ethics Act 196, a local government official shall not, number 2, represent his or her opinion as that of the local government. Because you are stating that as we, it is capsulizing all of us within that.
Duly noted.
I think also that when Rob mentioned about the letter that Mr. Corporal sent us originally the other day, that we have to be careful. I think that spoke to the whole thing when you're dealing with other people and their reputations. We have to be